My voice on screen, those are attending in online. Is my voice is clear to all of you guys? Please confirm to me. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen, those are attending in online. My voice on screen is clear to all of you guys. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Good morning, guys. Right, sir. And check it what we completed in the last session. I think so. We are discussing about differences between Java and other programming languages. In that, differences between Java and other programming languages, there we have seen almost all 4 differences here we completed. What are the 4 differences here we completed there? First one is C and C++ are static programming languages. Then Java is a dynamic programming language. After that, what next one here? Apart from this, no? All right, preprocessor is required in C and C++, whereas preprocessor is not required in Java. Next one is C and C++ are platform-dependent programming languages, whereas Java is a platform-independent programming language. Okay. After completion of this, next one is like what there pointers are available in C and C++, but pointers are not possible in the case of Java. Right, sir. Now these are the various points here we understood clearly. Okay. If we observe these pointers related content here, we have seen some few points here I discussed here. What are the few points here we have discussed in the case of these pointers? First of all, a given definition for pointer. Pointer is a variable that is able to store the address locations of the data structures, where the data structures may be a variable, an array, or a struct, or another pointer variable. Why pointer variables are not suitable in Java? Some reasons are given. Pointer variables are recognized and initialized by the compiler at the time of compilation. So pointer variables required static memory allocation, but Java is following dynamic memory allocation. Next one, pointer variables are supported by static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Pointer variables are very much suitable in platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Pointers is a bit confusion oriented features. It will increase confusion to the developers, but Java is a simple programming language. It must not allow confusion oriented features like pointers. These are the reasons why pointers are not suitable in the case of Java. Leave this one. Then immediately we got a question. What is the difference between? What are the differences between pointer variables and reference variables? Now here we are getting some points here. Understand it clearly. Pointers exist in a C and C++, but the reference variables exist in Java. Pointer variables are able to refer to a block of memory by storing address locations, but reference variables are able to refer to a block of memory that is an object through its reference value, where the reference value is the hexadecimal form of hash code, where hash code is an unique identity provided by the heap manager in the form of an integer value. Pointer variables are recognized and initialized at a compilation time, whereas reference variables are recognized and initialized at runtime. Pointer variables are suitable in the static programming languages and platform dependent programming languages, whereas reference variables are very much suitable in dynamic programming languages, and they are very much suitable in platform independent programming language. So these are overall the differences between pointer variables and reference variables are given. But here I given in the last class, I given a diagram about how reference variables, how reference values are generated in our applications. There are given some points. What exactly the points here we are discussing now? Understand this point clearly. In the case of Java, programming is going on with the classes. Here I've taken class A and some code. I created object for the class A. A small a is equal to new a object here we are creating. Okay, fine. After this, what next one here? JVM is going to execute this object creation statement. Moreover, in Java, we are going to have a separate type of memory that we are going to use. That is what their heap memory. Okay, inside the heap memory only objects are going to be created. Oh, fine. To control this entire heap memory, we have a separate manager. That manager is what their heap manager. Here we have heap manager. Clear? When JVM executes this instruction, a small a is equal to new a constructor. When JVM executes this instruction, immediately JVM will send a request to the heap manager. That heap manager is able to search for the required block of memory for JVM requirement. Then it is able to identify the required block of memory. When it is identified, automatically heap manager will create an object for the respective JVM requirement. Right, sir. Whenever object is created, automatically an unique identity is created by the heap manager for this object in the form of an integer value. That unique identity in the form of an integer value is called as what? Hash code of the object. When a hash code value is created for this object, that hash code value is given to the JVM. Now JVM is converting that hash code value to its a hexadecimal form. Hexadecimal form of hash code is called as what? Their reference value. That the reference value will be assigned to a variable. That variable is called as like what? Their reference variable. Is that got it or not? Now this is exactly the meaning of like what there, how a reference variable is created in Java. Now if we compare pointer variable and reference variable, it's very clear that pointer variable is able to refer a block of memory by storing its address location. That's my point here, by storing what their address location. But reference variable is able to refer a block of memory by storing object reference value, where object reference value is hexadecimal form of hash code, where hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value for each and every object. So this is what exactly the meaning of like what the reference variable and a pointer variable. Even in this case also we pointers are not suitable, pointers are not available in the case of like what their Java programming. Right, sir? Now this content here we understood clearly. After completion of this point here, now today's point is like what the today's another important interesting difference between Java and other programming languages is what there. I think so. This might be the fifth point. I think so, right? Fine. The point is multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. It is available in C++. It is possible in the case of Python. Of course, C++ is somewhat older one, not required to think about it. But I will show how it is possible in the case of Python and why it is not possible in the case of Java. That both we are going to understand. Okay. Right, sir. Before going to understand multiple inheritance is possible or not possible in Java, before that, first of all, what is multiple inheritance? From where this multiple inheritance is coming? First of all, what is inheritance? From where this inheritance is coming? So all these points, one after another, we are going to understand clearly. Put more concentration. All right, sir. For example, now tell me, Java is an object-oriented programming language or not? The simple statement. In general, everywhere we can see Java is an object-oriented programming language. Okay, before going to understand whether Java is an object-oriented or not, first of all, tell me when a programming language is an object-oriented programming language. When we are able to say one programming language is an object-oriented programming language. Right. If we come for this point, answer is very clear. Understand this now. If any programming language, observe carefully. If any programming language, if any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following object-oriented principles, object-oriented features, by following the object-oriented features, then that programming language is called an object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming language. That's it. This is the simple definition here. We have to understand clearly. Please try to read out this point. Whatever the point here I'm telling to you, now try to read out this now. If any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following the object-oriented features. Any programming language allows to represent data. Data is available. The data we have to represent. In C also be, data will be represented in a memory. In C++ also be, data will be represented in the memory. Similarly, in Java also be, data is going to be represented in a memory. But in Java, that memory block to store data is called as an object. In the case of Java, to store data, we are going to use a memory block, a block of memory. That block of memory is what there is an object. But how we are going to store data, how we are going to represent data, how we are going to read data, how we are going to update data, how we are going to represent data in the form of object, there a set of rules and regulations are available. To represent data in the form of an object, there we have a set of rules and regulations. There we have a set of rules and regulations. That set of rules and regulations are called as what there? Object-oriented features. As per these object-oriented features, if it represents the data in the form of objects in any programming language, then that programming language is called an object-oriented programming language. Clear cut information. Say, I'm not directly thinking about Java. Any programming language which has the same environment, then that programming language is what there? An object-oriented programming language. Clear. Now, what are the various object-oriented features? Okay, here we are saying that as per the object-oriented features. But what are the various object-oriented features we are having there now? Right, sir. Observe carefully. There are 7 number of object-oriented features. There are 7 object-oriented features. There are 7 object-oriented features. All right, what are the 7 object-oriented features? First one is class. First one is what their class. Next one is object. Next one is encapsulation. Next one is abstraction. After this, next one is inheritance. After this inheritance, next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism. Then after this is most of the people are able to neglect it. But as per the object orientation, the 7th one is like what there? Message passing. But in general, people are neglecting this. People are neglecting this. But this is also one of the object-oriented features. These are overall object-oriented features what you are having clearly. Yes, sir. All of you get my points or not? There are 7 number of object-oriented features. What are the 7 number of object-oriented features? No, class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and message passing. Out of all these object-oriented features, 4 features, the most powerful object-oriented features. Out of all these, 4 features are the most powerful object-oriented features. What are the most powerful object-oriented features here? Encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. These are the most powerful object-oriented features. Good. Now, our context is what? Our requirement is what? Our actual title is what there today. The title is multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. So I need to talk about what there multiple inheritance. To go for this multiple inheritance, first of all, I have to talk about what their inheritance. Now, today, my requirement is what their inheritance. So, all of you are getting it or not? Now, I need to go with what their inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? After that, we will talk about the single inheritance or multiple inheritance, all the different types of inheritances. Now, first of all, what is the meaning of inheritance? Fine. If you want to understand this inheritance, all of you understand it clearly. One small note here I'm telling to you. Observe carefully. In object-oriented programming languages, in object-oriented programming languages, we are able to write programs in the form of classes. We are able to write programs in the form of what their classes. Everywhere we are going to take classes. Every location we are going to write what their classes. Without having classes, we are unable to write the programs. Definitely here we require what their classes. Again and again I'm telling there. Without having classes, we can't do anything in our application. Okay, fine. What is this class? What it is representing for us? One simple point I'm telling to you, understand it, is a fundamental point. Here we are having so many technologies and so many programming languages and so many tools. These many things are available. But what is the motto of all these programming languages? C, C++, Java, Python, and so on. But what is the motto of all these programming languages? At least, do you think about it? What is the motto? What is the primary requirement of all these programming languages? Is a common point. To prepare programs, it's okay. It's everybody's answer. No, I'm not expecting that. Okay, we are preparing programs. For what purpose we are writing programs? Applications. For what purpose we are writing applications? For the sake of client requirements. No, what clients are required? Right. Now I can give one simple statement. Try to understand it. No, the primary motto of all the programming languages is to represent outside environment in the form of the code. Any programming language you can take to represent outside environment in the form of what their code. We're writing programs for preparing applications. Tell me some examples for applications. No, bank application. What bank application is doing? Representing that bank environment or not? All the functionalities of that bank in the form of code or not? Say for example, if you take like any insurance application, that insurance application is representing the total insurance company functionality or not? Insurance policies and everything or not? Healthcare application, it is representing the total hospital environment or not? Understand my point here now? So like this, see any type of application or any programming language, that primary motto is what they're representing outside environment in the form of code. That's it. For that only we are doing these many manipulations, we are preparing these many programs. Okay, so my requirement is what there? Outside environment I have to represent in the form of code. How? How? In the sense, answer is what there? Programming languages are giving environment. Programming languages are providing some approaches or some syntaxes or some features to represent outside environment in the form of code. What programming languages are providing? How they are providing? With respect to Java, I'm telling to you. Of course, it may be useful in everywhere. With respect to Java, I'm telling them. If you want to represent all real world entities, what are these? No, real world entities in the form of code in Java, we are going to use class. We are going to use class for what purpose there? To represent real world entities. If we take C programming language to represent real world entities, we may take a structure. A structure we may take. Are you getting my point or not? In the case of C programming language, we may take one structure. That is a C programming language feature to represent outside environment. Class is a Java feature to represent outside environment. Are you able to follow or not? Maybe if we go for some other programming language like C++, there also be classes are available. Class can be used to represent what there outside environment. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? Fine. So programming language to programming language, differences are available. Features wise differences are available. That features main motto, the features, all the features main motto is what they're representing outside entities in the form of coding part. Right, sir. Now inside the Java, my required point is what? For what purpose we are writing classes? If it is a question, no. Answer is very simple. The main purpose of writing classes is to represent real world entities in the form of coding part. Then next question, sir, what is real world entity? Sir, you are not recognizing my statements, no? If you observe carefully my statements, no? Almost all, I am filling the gap between outside and programming. Inside the program class, it is representing what there, it is representing what there, real world entity. Class is representing what there, real world entity. Okay, what is real world entity? Again, there is a question. Nothing, sir. Very simple. Real world entity is a thing which has some attributes. Real world entity is a thing which has some attributes. Again, there is a question, sir. What is an attribute? Attribute is a small amount of data. Attribute is a data. That's it, not more than that. Okay, now I'm giving clarity. Entity and its data. Class and its variables. Finish. I get my point or not? Entity, data, class and variables. What is an entity? What is data? Student is an entity. Student is an entity. And what is its data actually? Student ID, student name, student email ID, student mobile number, student address, student college, student branch, student qualification, and so on and so on and so on. All these are like what their data of the entity. If you want to represent as it is in the form of Java, student we have to declare as a class student. The data we have to represent in the form of what their variables. Finish. Programming is very simple. That simple. The mapping is important. Leave it now. Account, bank account. Account is an entity that we are going to represent in the form of what their class account. I get my point or not? Account to data. What is that account to data? Actually, account attributes. Data in the sense attributes. What is that account attributes? No. Fields or maybe attributes. Right. Account number, account holder name, account to type, and account balance. Am I right or not? Account branch, account bank. All these details are come under what their account attributes, account data. Account is represented in the form of class. Account data is represented in the form of like what their variables. Okay, account is represented, data is also represented, but I have some functionalities. I have some activities with the account. What are the activities with the account? No. What are the various activities we are able to do with these accounts? No. What we are going to do with these accounts? No. First one is create an account. Account must be created or not? Is a task or not? It is a process or not? Next one is update account. Updating an account is also a task or not? Is also a process or not? Delete an account is also a task or not? The task or activities or actions are represented in Java in the form of methods. In the form of methods. In C, functions. In C++, functions. In Java, methods. In the case of Python, functions. All of you get my point or not? So activities of the entities are represented in the form of methods. Entities data is represented in the form of variables. Entities are represented in the form of what their class. That's it. Programming is very simple. Now tell me, apart from this, one more entity I'm taking now. Transaction is an entity. Transaction is an entity. What data is available for the transaction now? Tell me, just general knowledge I'm asking there. What data is available associated to this transaction now? Transaction ID, transaction type, am I right or not? Transaction over an account, account details. Transaction in a bank. All the details are come under transaction or not? Okay. What transactions are available? What are the activities with the transactions? No, maybe deposit, maybe withdrawal, or maybe transfer funds. All these are activities or not? Now tell me, I want to represent this entire system in code. To represent this entire system in the form of programming, what we have to do? Transaction is an entity. Declare a class transaction. Transaction ID, transaction type, account details. Declare variables inside the transaction class. Deposit, withdrawal, transfer funds, declare them in the form of what their methods in Java. Finish. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? If we have this kind of thinking, programming is very, very simple. Programming is not at all difficult. Programming is very, very simple. That we are going to understand clearly. Fine, sir. See, programming languages, writing programs are similar to mathematics. Same mathematics. In mathematics also, if we don't know the formula, if we don't know the logic to perform some operations, mathematics is too much difficult. If you know the logic, if you know the formula, if you know some shortcuts, then mathematics is very, very simple. Similarly, programming languages. How to write a program, if you know that, programming is that simple. But if we don't know how to write the program, then immediately we have a project. Then it will be toughest part. Simple example, I'm telling to you. Two members are joined with the company. Person one, person two are joined with the company. Difference between these two persons is what? Person one has learned every concept in a Java. He had total knowledge on Java, full stack Java. Then he went to the company. Person two, he doesn't know anything about Java, but he went to the company. Fortunate or unfortunate, both are selected. Both went to the company on the single day. Same project was given for both the members. There, who will do the work? Obviously, person one will do the work. What is the status of the person two? He can't do. Unable to do the work. Why? Because he don't know anything about it. But person one knows everything now. That difference we can identify clearly. If we want to do the project, we need to have the logics. We need to have some awareness. We need to understand how to do programming. Then only we are able to write the program. But without knowledge, if we go to the programming, how we are able to do that project? No. The difference is available or not? Same way. Okay. What person one has the information? What person two not having information? If you observe this point here, person one have the information, have the knowledge that how to represent outside environment in the form of coding part. He can convert outside to the coding part. But person two doesn't know that how to convert that outside environment into coding part. That's why he feel difficulty there. That's why he feel very much simple. Programming language may be anything. Programming language may be anything. Any programming language we can use. But the way to represent outside environment in the form of coding part is required. Then only we are able to do this kind of programming. So that's the point I'm telling there finally. Okay, it's out of the box for us now, but try to understand our required content here. Finally the point is what there. In object-oriented programming languages, we are able to write programs in the form of classes. Here, classes are able to represent where the classes are able to represent all real world entities in the form of coding. All real world entities are represented in the form of like what there coding. That's the purpose of the classes. Now example I'm telling there, student is a class, employee is a class, customer is a class, account is a class, product is a class, and so on and so on and so on. Is that all of you getting it or not? Okay, fine. Leave this one. Yeah, this is prerequisite to understand what their inheritance. That's why I'm giving this clarity. So how we are able to represent these classes in a Java programming language? No, just by using class keyword. Class student. There we can declare some variables and methods. Next one is what the class employee. Class employee. There we can provide like what there some variables and methods. Like this, we can declare any number of classes. Yes, sir. All of you are getting some idea. What is the meaning of class? All of you are getting idea on this point? No. What is the meaning of class? No. All right, sir. That's okay. Fine. Like this here, we are able to get. Now tell me, final question in this overall discussion. Inside the class, what is available? Variables and methods. Variables is able to represent entities data. Methods are able to represent entities behaviors. Variables are able to represent entities data. Methods are able to represent entities behaviors. Okay, variables and methods are available inside the classes. Clear? All of you clear up to now? If we clear up to this point now, then I'll move on to the inheritance part. Now I'm going to give definition for inheritance. Very simple inheritance definition I'm telling you. Try to understand it clearly. It is a relation between classes. Yes, sir. What is this inheritance? No, it's a relation between classes. What it will do? It will bring or provide. It will bring or provide, or it will bring or provide variables and methods from one class to another class. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class. You are a person. Person is an entity, is a class. Your parent is also a person. Person in the sense entity. Entity is represented in the form of what their class. Your father is a class. You are also a class. Do you have any relation between your father and you? Yes, we have a relation. Father son relationship is available. Parent child relationship is available. Answer my point, Kenna. As you are having the relation, parent child relation, obviously what benefit we are able to get with this relationship? No, what benefit we are able to get with this relationship? No, whatever the properties our parents are having, all properties are coming to the child or not? All parents behaviors, all parents properties are coming to the child or not? That's my point, Gano. So with the properties and behaviors, what you are able to do? With these properties and behaviors, what you are able to do? Guys, all of you are following my statements, no? Just I'm generalizing the concept. I'm simplifying the points now. What we are able to do with these properties and behaviors, what we are able to do? All right, we are able to reuse them. We are able to reuse them to get betterment, to get benefits, to improve our activities. Say, for example, if your father has, for example, 1 crore of rupees, your father has 1 crore of rupees. Obviously, that 1 crore is coming to you. What we will do to make it is 2 crores, we have to use that 1 crore first. Sir, got my point on it? To make it is 2 crores, we have to use that 1 crore. Or else, you want to keep that 1 crore in the, like what there, in the shelf, and you want to pray for every day. You want to pray that every day now, get 2 crores, get 2 crores, get like this. You want to go for Rama Krishna like this. No, we have to get it, we have to get it, we have to consume it, then make it is 2 crores. Means that we are reusing that amount or not. Initially, that amount is of what their parents. That amount we are reusing or not. So this is the meaning of what their reusability. When properties and behaviors are coming from parent to child, child can reuse that properties. So here also observe carefully this definition here. It's a relation between classes, like a parent child relation. It will bring properties, it will bring or provide variables and methods from one class to the another class. So first of all, I want to confirm one class. One class is what there from one class, the class which is providing. Okay, fine. Now here I'm telling to you the class which is providing variables and methods to some other class is called a parent class or a base class or a base class or a super class. These many terms are available. First one is what their parent class. Next one is what their base class. And next one is what their super class. Official terminology in Java is what their super class. Official terminology in Java is what their super class. Okay, this is a point here. The class which is getting variables and methods from a super class. The class which is getting variables and methods from a super class is called, now tell me, a child class or a derived class, or a subclass. What is it, sir? Or a subclass. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Okay. Now can I set you? It is a relation between classes. It will bring or provide variables and methods from one class to another class. Where the class which is providing variables and methods to some other class is called a parent class or base class or a super class. The class which is getting variables and methods from a super class is called as is a child class or a derived class or a subclass. So official terminologies in Java are super and sub. In the case of maybe C++, base and derived classes, but language to language terminologies are going to be changed. That we have to be strict. In Java, superclass, subclass. Don't say parent class, child class in Java. In Java, the terminology is what there, superclass, subclass. That we have to follow. Yes, sir. Are you getting that much? Okay, fine. All right, sir. That's okay. After getting this, I give in one point, Ken. Your parents are having some amount of money. Obviously, that is coming to you. So what you are going to do? You are going to reuse it to get more. Got it or not? So similarly, the point what I'm telling there, the main advantage of inheritance is code reusability. The main advantage of inheritance is what there, code reusability. Superclass to subclass. In superclass, declare 10 variables and 10 methods. Automatically, they are available to subclass, then subclass can reuse them. If we declare variables and methods in superclass, automatically that members will come to what their subclass, where subclass can reuse all the superclass members automatically. This is the meaning of what their reusability. This is the meaning of what their reusability. All of you are getting it or not? Okay, fine. So finally here we are getting what is inheritance, what is the meaning of inheritance, what is the advantage of inheritance, that we understood clearly. Am I right or not? Okay, fine. Now observe carefully. Initially, I'm talking about initially there are two types of inheritances. Initially, how many types of inheritances? No, two types only. But in general, 5 types are available, but initially 2 types only. I'll give that information to you. First one is single inheritance. Next one is multiple inheritance. Single inheritance, and next one is what there, multiple inheritance. Initially, these are the two types of inheritances. Okay, fine. On the basis of the single and multiple inheritances, there are 3 more inheritances. Directly, the remaining 3 inheritances are not in categorization. Initially, the inheritances are categorized into 2, single and multiple. On the basis of these 2, 3 more are defined. That's the second level of inheritances now. Right, sir. What are these actually? First one is like what there, multi-level inheritance. What is this one? Multi-level inheritance. Right, sir. Observe carefully. After this multi-level. Next one is what there? Hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. Next one is hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance, like this. Overall, how many types of inheritances are available? 5 types of inheritances. What are the 5 types of inheritances? No, single inheritance, multiple inheritance. 3 more inheritances are available: multi-level, hierarchical, and hybrid inheritances. Sir, all of you get my point or not? Okay, fine. Now our actual point is what there. What we have to understand there. What is multiple inheritance? Why it is not possible in Java? But to introduce this multiple inheritance, only this much of content here are given. Sir, got it or not? Fine. Almost all. Introduction of the object orientation we understood now. It will be useful for us when I'm going to talk about object orientation. But we have to understand it clearly. This approach is very, very important. It's a foundation for you. We have to understand it clearly now. Right, sir. Now let's move to the punch here. Okay, sir. Good. Overall inheritances and their types also we understood. Now let us move on to the single inheritance. Let's move on to the single inheritance. Okay, fine. What is the meaning of this single inheritance? Listen, all of you listen carefully. It is a relation between classes. Every inheritance is a relation between classes. Single inheritance is also be relation between classes. Okay. All right, sir. Single inheritance is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from only one super class to only one super class to one or more number of subclasses. Come again. What is the definition I've given? It's this relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from how many superclasses? No, only one superclass. From only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Say for example, you are the person. You have some siblings, maybe sisters and brothers. No, all of your properties are shared to each and every person equally or not? All of your parents' properties are shared to everybody or not? So one parent, like here, how many childs are available? Multiple childs. The properties are shared to all the members or not? Similarly, we can think of it. We are able to get variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. One superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Here, we have conditional number of superclasses. We don't have any conditional number of subclasses. In all the inheritances, max condition on superclasses only, no conditions on subclasses. Unfortunately, people are having definitions like one superclass, one child class is a single inheritance. No, it's the wrong definition. We have only one superclass, but any number of child classes can. We are not having any condition on what their number of child classes. Then it is called as what their single inheritance. Okay, fine. Now I'm telling there Java does support single inheritance. Java does support what there single inheritance. Okay. Okay, sir. Good. I understood this. Can you show a diagrammatic representation for this? All right. I want to show a simple diagram. Now try to understand it clearly. Everybody, put more concentration here. For example, inheritance we are going to represent in this way only. For example, this is a class A. Of course, in the diagram, I'm taking single subclass, but you can take any number of subclasses. No issues for it. Okay. Now, in general, in object orientation, inheritance is represented in the form of an arrow by using upwards arrow. By using what there? Upward arrow. Right. Now, this is like what I'm telling to you, a class. Say, for example, I want to take class K. This I want to take like what there? Class B. I want to make class A is a parent class. That means super class. Class B is a subclass. Superclass is what? Class A. Subclass is what? Class B. How we are able to represent inheritance in the case of Java? Just by using a keyword. What is that keyword? Extends a keyword. By using extends keyword, we can we can define inheritance relation between classes. Okay, fine, good. Next one is, for example, I'm going to declare variables and methods in superclass A. Int I is equal to 10 and void m1 method. Like this, can I define some variables and methods inside the class A, superclass. Whatever the properties and behaviors we declared in superclass, automatically the properties and behaviors are available to what class now? Subclass. There we can reuse these variables and methods. Reuse in the sense I is equal to I plus 10, and directly we can call what there? M1 method. I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to I plus 10 in the sense like what? Already I variable is declared in superclass or not? That we are reusing inside the child class. Method M1 method is already declared in superclass that we reused inside what their subclasses. So this is the meaning of like what their reusability. Right, so now this is an example for what their single inheritance. Clear to all of you? Right. Next one is, what is this multiple inheritance? Right, sir. The next one is like what there? Multiple inheritance. What is the meaning of multiple inheritance? Observe carefully. What is this multiple inheritance? It is a relation between classes. It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Right, sir? It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Previously, getting variables and methods from only one superclass. Now, getting variables and methods from more than one superclass, not from one superclass, more than one superclass. But number of subclasses may be anything. But or not. So this is exactly the meaning of like what there multiple inheritance. All right, sir. That's okay, fine. Java does it support or does not support? If you observe this point now, we are able to understand Java does not support multiple inheritance. Why it is not supported, that we are going to understand. That is our main point here today. Why it is not supported, that we are going to understand clearly. Now let's see this one here. I want to show the same thing in a diagrammatic manner. By that you are able to get some clarity. Now here I want to take, this is a class A. This is class B. Here we have a subclass C. Class A, class B. Here we are able to have like what there, class C. Right, so now before providing members there, I want to provide inheritance relationship like this. Right, so now observe carefully. In class A, int I is equal to 10. Int I is equal to 10. For example, I have declared void M1 method I declared. Some X implementation, for example. In class B, int j is equal to 20. Void M2 method. Here some Y implementation. Method in the sense, definitely some implementation, some code is available. Like this. Now tell me here, in this overall inheritance relationship, what are superclasses and what is subclass here? No? What are the superclasses here? A and B are what their superclasses and C is what their subclass. All superclass members are coming to the subclass or not? Is a relationship, inheritance relationship. So definitely all parent superclass members are available to subclasses. I is equal to I plus 10 semicolon. J is equal to J plus 10 semicolon. Is it possible or not? Next one. M1 method call, M2 method call. Possible or not? That's possible. All superclass members are available to subclasses. There we can do. We are able to access it. It's okay. Now it is completed. Up to this, we are not getting any problem. Up to this here, we are not having any problem. Understand this point clearly. So superclasses are available where some members are existed now. All these members are available to what their subclasses. Up to this, we are not getting any problem. Okay, fine. All right, sir. Now this is a diagrammatic representation for what their multiple inheritance. Single subclass has more than one superclass. Single subclass has what there more than one superclass. Okay, fine. Now the conclusion here I've given there, Java does not support multiple inheritance. Why Java does not support multiple inheritance? That point here we have to understand. Now let's see this diagram here. Next one, again as it is that multiple inheritance I want to represent. Now try to understand. Here we have a class. Here we have a class, and this is a child class. Now here we are able to get like what there. Apart from this, class A, class B, class C extends. Now here we are getting like what there after this into I is equal to 10. Observe carefully. Now this is actual point I need to discuss today. Why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java? Here the point I am going to discuss now. Put more concentration. Into I is equal to 10. Void M1 method. Inside this M1 method, we are having X implementation like this. Now here class B I am taking no. Observe carefully. Here only the change. Again int I is equal to 20. Void M1 method, but with Y implementation. Now tell me, two superclasses, class A and class B. In both the superclasses, I variable M1 method. I variable M1 method. In both the superclasses, same variables are declared but with different values. In class A superclass, I variable value is what? 10. In class B superclass, I variable value is what there? 20. In class A superclass, M1 method implementation is what? X implementation. In class B superclass, Y method, M1 method implementation is what there? Y implementation. As per the inheritance relation, both the superclass members are available to the subclass or not? Both the superclass members must be available to the subclass or not? Now here the point is what I am telling to you. In the case of class C, extends A comma B. In the case of this one, when I use I is equal to I plus 10, when I call M1 method, which is superclass members are available to the child class? That's the question. When I access I is equal to I plus 10, when I call M1 method, from which is superclass I variable value is coming? From which is superclass M1 method implementation is coming to execute? Clear? Understand my point now? If you observe this, for example, I is equal to I plus 10. So I value is required or not? From which is superclass we have to take I value? If I take I variable value from class A superclass, where 10 is available, I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 10 plus 10. Here the value 20. Is it 20? If we take I value from class B superclass, where I value is 20, I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 20 plus 10. 30. Is it 30? If we call M1 method, M1 method is defined in class A superclass. If we think class A superclass M1 method is coming to the child class, where that implementation part for M1 method is what there? X implementation. Is it X implementation? And if we think M1 method is coming from class B superclass, where implementation for M1 method is what there? Y implementation. Is it Y implementation? Sir, understand my point clearly? Is it X implementation or Y implementation? Is it 20 or 30? This is an ambiguity situation for the compiler, for the JVM, even for the developers in the case of multiple inheritance. This is an ambiguity situation, means that it is a confusion state. It is a confusion state to decide which superclass members are available to the child class, to the subclass. It is a confusion state, ambiguity state. But Java is a simple programming language. Java is a simple programming language. It must not allow all the confusion-oriented features. It must not allow all the confusion-oriented features. Because of that reason only, simply Java has avoided this total multiple inheritance from its programming. Java has restricted this entire multiple inheritance from its programming. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? So this is the reason why Java has not allowed multiple inheritance part of its programming. Is a confusion or not? To make Java is a simple, Java does not allow this multiple inheritance situation or this kind of programming inside the Java applications. That's why multiple inheritance is not possible in the case of Java. That's enough. This is the final content here, what I've given clearly. So now the point is like what? This is a diagrammatic information, but I need to give the point to you. Now try to understand the point here, what I'm telling to you. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Often, I'll give the information. If we declare the same variables, if we declare the same variables and methods in both the superclasses, with different values and different implementation. That's it. If we declare same variable and methods, same variables and methods with different values and different implementation in both the superclasses, and if we access that variables and methods in a subclass, then which is superclass provided variables and methods are accessed is a confusion state. Understand my point again? Which is superclass variables and which is superclass methods are utilized is a confusion state. It will increase confusion to the compilers, JVMs, and the developers. But Java is a simple programming language. Simple programming language. It does not allow the confusion-oriented features. Like multiple inheritance. Confusion-oriented features like what there? Multiple inheritance. That's it. Now this is what exactly the reason why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. This is the point here we can understand. Same variables and same methods with the different values and different implementations. If we declare in more than one superclass, and if we access that variable and that method in the respective subclass, then from which superclass that variables and methods are coming is a confusion state. Okay, which is superclass provided, right? If we access that variables and then subclass, then which is superclass provided variables and methods are accessed is a confusion state. It will increase confusion to the compilers, JVMs, and developers. But Java is a simple programming language. It does not allow confusion oriented features like multiple inheritance. So conclusion is what there, multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Sir, got it or not? Fine. Okay, fine. This is the point here what we understood then. Next one is how Java has restricted multiple inheritance programmatically. Conceptually we understood. Because of this reason, multiple inheritance is not available in Java. But how programmatically multiple inheritance was restricted? If we come for this point, now I'm giving the point to you. Understand the no type of point here. No type of point is like what there. Java has restricted multiple inheritance by defining extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name in a subclass declaration, not to allow more than one superclass name. Not to allow more than one superclass name. Now understand this clearly. Java has restricted multiple inheritance by defining extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name in a subclass declaration, not to allow more than one superclass name. The point here what I am telling to you, for example, class A extends B, it's okay, valid. Class A extends B, it's a valid. It's a valid. Status is valid. For example, class A extends B comma C. Status is like what there, invalid. It is not possible. Status is what there, invalid. It is not possible. In this way, that multiple inheritance was restricted in the case of like what there, Java. This approach here. Extends keyword was defined in such a way to allow only one superclass name, not to allow multiple superclasses names. If we provide after specifying this class, if we provide comma, their compiler is providing an error. The comma is not allowed after the superclass name. Curly braces are allowed after the superclass name. We should not use comma. If we are using comma, what's the meaning of it? No. One more superclass we are trying to provide. That's why there is a problem. That's why compiler is giving some compilation error. All of you are getting clarity or not? So this is what exactly the meaning of like what there, multiple inheritance. It is possible in the case of C++. It is possible in the case of Python. Forget about C++. Nobody will ask questions on C++. No. But come to the Python now. How it is allowed in the case of Python. To allow this multiple inheritance or to trace multiple inheritance kind of things, Python has provided one algorithm. That algorithm name is what there, ORM algorithm. One algorithm was provided here. What is that algorithm? What is the meaning of that algorithm? Right, sir. In Python related information I'm giving to you, try to understand it clearly. Right, sir. For example, this is a class in the case of Python. Python classes declaration is available in this way only. Now I want to write this in outside of the content here. Now here I want to write it now. In Python, how it is available? Observe carefully. In the case of Python, classes are declared in this way. Now here we can provide like what there, variables and methods. That means here what is this now? Class A colon, no curly braces. Here some space is there or not? After declaring the class now, in one line we declare the class now. Some space, that means here we provided some space or not? That space is nothing but intended operator. That operator is available. That is nothing but space. Okay, that space is the like what I'm telling there, measurement to declare variables and methods inside the classes. Okay, fine. This is class K. Similarly, class B colon again space here. If you provide space, then only that variables and methods are come under this particular class. Without providing space, if you provide variables and methods, no, it's outside of the class only. That's a story in the case of Python. Okay, fine. All of you observe carefully. In Python, how inheritance we are going to be represented. Say for example, class C, I want to make it as a child class for A. It will put bracket here and A. That's it. In the case of Python, class C inside the bracket, what is available? A. Class C inside the bracket, what is available? A is available. Is it? Are you getting it or not? Fine, sir. Now class C and parenthesis A. There we are able to get variables and methods that we are able to provide. So now here A is a superclass and C is what there? Child class. All members are coming from A to C directly. Okay, fine. Now observe carefully. For example, class D. I want to provide more than one superclass in a class, subclass. There we can write A comma B like this. There we can write what there? A comma B like this. For example, understand this one. In place of these variables and methods here, I want to take what there? I is equal to 10. Here also be, we are going to take like what there? I is equal to 20. Okay. All right, sir. If we take this is a superclass, no. For example, if we use I is equal to I plus 10, for example, I'm telling there I is equal to I plus 10. If I use like this, first of all, I variable will be searched in the class C. If it is not available, then I variable will be searched in the superclass. In superclass A, I variable is available or not? As it is available. 10 now. I is equal to 10 plus 10. I is equal to 20. 20 is the value here we are getting. Okay, fine. Next one is what there? For example, class D, A comma B. I is equal to I plus 10. Here I provided, for example. Now what is going to be happen now? First PVM, not JVM, Python virtual machine, will search for I variable in the current class D, but no I variable is available. Then immediately it will search for the I variable in the first superclass. What is the first superclass? No, A, where I variable is available or not? As I variable is available, there directly I is equal to I plus 10. There we are able to get like what value here? No, 20 is a value here we are able to get. Sir, are you getting or not? For example, if I provide the superclasses like what there B comma A, first PVM will search for I variable in the current class D, not available. Then it will search in the first superclass. In the case if the required I variable is not available in the first superclass, then PVM will go to the second superclass where it will search for the respective I variable. It follows the inheritance classes order. In which order we provided, in the same order variable will be searched until it identifies the respective variable. If the variable is identified, automatically that variable we are able to use in our applications. Is it? Or if you're getting clarity or not, what I'm telling you. So here also the same point here I'm telling to you. First of all, PVM will search for I variable in the B, class B. In a class B, what variable is available? 20 is available. I is equal to 20 plus 10. What is the value here now? 30. So here we are getting like what value here now? 30. But here we are getting what value here now? Now tell me, here we are getting what value? I is equal to I plus 10. That means 20. That means 20 is the value here we are getting. Of course, now here I want to make it is what there? A comma B. No problem. Class C, A comma B. Class D, B comma A. Here 20 is a value, here 30 is a value. This algorithm is nothing but ORM algorithm. This is going on in the case of what there? Python. Do you have any problem if you do like this in the case of Python? No issues. No problems are available like this in the case of Python. Am I right or not? But Java doesn't have this type of algorithms. Python has this type of algorithm. That's why it is achieving multiple inheritance. But Java doesn't have this type of algorithms. Java thought of it. This multiple inheritance is anyways a problematic thing throughout our applications. No, so directly we avoid that multiple inheritance from Java application. Java is not dealing that multiple inheritance in this way. What Python is following, but Python approach is different. Java approach is different. In Java, no concept like this, multiple inheritance. But in the case of Python, it is possible through this particular algorithm. All of you are following my point or not? So this is the final information about like what, how multiple inheritance is achieved in Python, why it is not possible in the case of Java. All the content here we cleared clearly. Right, sir. Now this is a story about this, like what there, multiple inheritance and its content. Okay, then after this, we need to go with some other differences. No, what some other differences here we are going to difference there. We are going to understand. The next one is what there, Destructors are required in a C++, but destructors are not required in Java. Destructors are required in the case of C++, but destructors are not required in the case of Java. Then what exactly the reasons for it? Okay. So this topic I will discuss with you on tomorrow. That's it. Tomorrow is a Friday, right? We have session there, and Saturday also we have session. Saturday also we have session, and this might be tomorrow also we have session there. Max, we are going to finish this total differences between Java and other content here. Then after that, if time is possible, I'll start Java features also. Next content is what there? Java features. That one also we are going to understand clearly. Okay. Right, sir. That's all for today. Then tomorrow we are going to see the remaining content. Right, I'm requesting one point. See, then I have back-to-back classes there. Then up to 8 or 8:15, I have to take the class at my home. Online classes are going on, and immediately I have to start. I have to come here. So then better every day at 10 minutes delay. It's minimum is going on with me. So try to recognize it and try to come for the classes as per that. Or else even at 8:30 you can come here as well as possible. If you come here immediately, I will take the class now. But minimum 10 minutes of gap is going to be happen. But try to utilize this. Understand it. What I'm telling you, right? Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. Guys, then if you want to see the documents, link I given there, right? Classroom link I given. Now try to access this and try to use this link so that we are able to get it. So Murali, Bala, yeah, please check that link so that you can utilize this. ఎందుకు నేను చెప్తా క్లాసులు ఎట్లా చేయాలని ఎట్లా చెప్తా అసలు మొత్తం ఇంకా మీకు ఫస్ట్ అప్లికేషన్ వరకు మొత్తం వచ్చేస్తుంది ఎట్లా డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి ఎట్లా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలి వీడియోస్ వస్తాయి మీకు వీడియోస్ వస్తాయి వీడియోస్ యూట్యూబ్లో కూడా ఉన్నాయి ప్రజెంట్ వీడియోస్ మీరు రిజిస్టర్ అయ్యింటే మీరు డైరెక్ట్ గూగుల్ డ్రైవ్ యాక్సెస్ వస్తుంది మీకు ఓకే ఒకసారి తనతో మాట్లాడండి చెప్తాను తీసుకోండి 40K QEUU 40K QEW UU ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ అంతే అంతే ఏం కాలేదు ఇంకా ఏం లేదు అదే మీరు టెన్షన్ పడతానికి ఏం లేదు ఇక్కడ అసలు నేనేం చెప్పలేదు ఇంకా జావాకి ఎందుకు వస్తున్నాం జావా వల్ల ఉండే అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటి ఏం డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటి అంతే వెరీ వెరీ స్టార్ట్అప్ క్లాసెస్ ఏం లేదు థ్యాంక్ యూ Yeah, registrations are already started, guys. Then maybe very soon, maybe within 1 or 2 days of time, that link is going to be expired. Links are going to be changed there, so you can register immediately. No last date for it. Already every day we are waiting for it. Okay, guys. Then within 1 or 2 days of time, the links are going to be changed there. Please try to register for the courses if you are not registered so far. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.